Happy almost New Year. This can only mean one thing. It is time for our 2024 Wrapped. Let's begin. Starting off strong with this year's adventures, I spent 71 days traveling, hiked 134 miles, which is not a lot. As soon as I moved to Michigan, I think I've only hiked like 6 or 7 miles since being here. And girl, my body can feel it. I also got to check off 3 things from my bucket list. My favorite adventure this year was in August. For my birthday, I went to Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. I kayaked 10 miles and helped a capsized boat get uncapsized and get back to shore safely. That was fun. You know what wasn't fun? Whitewater tubing. Perhaps you've heard of whitewater rafting, where you're in a safe little boat and you've got a guide. He's like taking you through these currents. It's super fun. I've done that. But you know what's not fun? When you take away the guide and the boat and you're all alone on this inner tube with these roaring waters. And I'm like, who made this legal? My foot got caught under a rock. I still have the scar and I almost drowned. So not fun. 0 out of 10 would recommend. Moving right along, the fullest month of the year was October. I did the most in October. And actually, the worst memory of my year and the best memory of my year happened within about 5 minutes of each other in October. And then I had a midterm and a dress rehearsal right after both events happened. That was a wild ride. And then the whole rest of the month was just a bunch of ups and downs and craziness, but that is what life is all about. It's so full. Now let's talk about some professional things. I had 48 performances this year. Now, when I was calculating this, I was like, that is not that many performances for a professional musician. For sure, I've done more than that. But then I was like, when you quit your job and move half across the country to go back to school, sometimes you don't perform as much as you thought. However, how many hours of rehearsal went into those 48 performances? Too many to count. Now, my favorite performance of the year was a concert titled Joyfully Together. It was one of my last concerts in DC. I was singing with the Washington Chorus, and my former students with the National Children's Chorus were standing in front of me singing with me. And it was so special for me. What a perfect way to close that chapter of my life and move on to the next. Now, you want to talk about my most embarrassing performance? Oh my gosh. I was the soprano soloist for Rudder's Lux Aeterna. It was for a funeral, which makes it even better. And I cracked real bad on the high B at the end of the solo, and it's like piano up there. Yeah, your girl couldn't do it. It was fine in the dress rehearsal, and then the performance, like, I was mortified. I was like, I can never show my face in this town ever again. And so I moved 500 miles across the country. Moving right along, let's talk about some of the songs that I wrote this year. I wrote a total of 9 pieces. 2 of those were premiered, and 1 of them was a commission. Of course, once I started grad school, all of that went on the back burner, and I've been focusing on conducting, which matters way more to me. My favorite piece that I composed this year is called In a Body That Remembers. It is a tribute to victims of sexual assault. And an honorable mention is a cute little song I wrote called The Rocks at Rock Bottom, inspired by this cute little graphic I found on Instagram. Now let's talk about some of the lessons that 2024 taught me. I learned 750 million things this year. It's definitely been the biggest year of growth for me. And so I was like, how can I distill all this new change within me and like put it on a screen? It's impossible. But with that said, I did come up with 3 lessons that I will be taking with me into 2025. Number 1, it is not about how smart or talented you are, but how hard you work will determine what you're capable of and how much you will succeed. Number 2, what is number 2? Oh, yes, help will come when you least expect it. You will be okay, you will get what you need, but you're not in control of how or when that happens. And last but not least, number 3, there is so much good in the world, and you and me are part of that goodness. It can be easy to believe that tomorrow is definitively worse than yesterday. Everything that we're told leads us to believe that we're doomed. But if I've learned anything this year, it's that our shared humanity holds so much hope. And so that's it. Thanks for coming along on this ride. This is my goodbye to 2024. See ya in 2025.